press go live.
Oh god.
All right, hold on. What's up, guys? Give me 1 second. I'm just waiting for this video to start on the right, just so I can pause it because I know it's gonna fucking start playing as soon as we start talking. Come on. Oh yes. There you go.
There you go.
Hold on. Boom. I'll just pause that. Fuck, it'll be left in the commercial. What is up, guys? Wait, hold on. Boom. What is up, guys?
Welcome back to 10 Talks.
Episode 16, and no guest
16?
today. Yeah. House one was episode 15.
Oh, okay. I feel like it keeps...
I'm definitely sure. Because we did 2 episodes in 1 week twice already. So we kind of like doubled up quickly.
We doubled up.
We were going to do one on Thursday, but this week has just been kind of a hectic week, so we were not able to do it. But what is up, guys? How's it going?
Yeah, we've been so
what happened
busy.
there? I thought you
Sorry.
were going to say something. You just went dead silent. Wait, hold on. First thing I think we need to do is pour up these shots.
First, I wanted to talk about your streams that you've been doing.
Oh yeah, the trolling people. So recently, I already knew this. You know, this is not a new thing. This happens all the time on streams, on Twitch, on YouTube, all types of stuff. Is people will take their audience and like either just like, you know, go talk to someone. They'll basically, it's called raiding or whatever, where you go raid people. And I've been wanting to do this thing called, well, I call it positive trolling or positive raiding, where there's a couple people out there on the internet. One of the most famous ones, or not famous, infamous ones right now is this guy called Maximilians. And he's kind of like a really, really toxic bad troll where he sends his audience to like, really to be really fucked up to people or whatever, and like people are really tired of him on YouTube, and but his audience is super loyal where he can tell them to do anything and they're gonna do whatever he tells them. So like I want to do the opposite of that, or I want to like go join people's audiences, but like he joins, what he likes to do is like he'll join a popular person's audience to raid their shit and then kind of like get exposure through a popular person's things. My streams that I've been doing is like I want to find a really, really, really small YouTuber on YouTube who's streaming to like 2 or 3 or 5 people, and then I come in there with like 20 people, and then we all start asking like, why'd you steal the oranges, and why'd you hit my dad's truck and drive away, and like we'll say like random shit like that to get them fucking wondering like what the hell's going on.
And it is so funny. But anyways, you did this last night.
I did this last night.
And you got like a crazy amount of donations.
I know,
like,
literally people love, because I never really one, I haven't been streaming that consistently, but 2, when I do stream, I don't really go like, oh, we're doing $10 shots anymore. Like I kind of stopped doing that. Like if people see it, they do donate. But yesterday, I was like, dude, we're doing the trolling stream. I really want to stay on stream for a while. So I was like $10 shots, and then literally like 7 donations came in immediately, and then you didn't finish your shots.
I was like starting to like really get fucked up. I felt like I was like faded.
Usually when Rylee streams with me, it's like a 2 for 1, where if you donate $10, we both end up taking a shot. But she tapped out 4 shots in.
Yeah, I was starting to get sleepy.
Wait, how many shots did you take?
I took like 4 shots, I think, because we took shots of Tito's first.
Yeah, we took we took shots of Tito's. We drank the kombucha, which is, you know, kombucha with alcohol in it and shit. And then we finished the Tito's bottle. People in the chat were saying to buy a bottle of Crown Royals or Royal, so that's what we got, and that's what we're gonna be drinking of right now. And also,
and that was actually really good. I liked it.
Yeah, especially right out the freezer. It's not that cold right now, but when we took it right out the freezer, it was perfect. I do have to say that I also didn't finish my shots. I had
how many did you owe?
I had I took one last one before I got off, so I have 2 left.
Okay.
So I'm sorry to the 2 people that I did not, you know, follow through on the promise of taking the shot during the last stream yesterday, but I'm doing it today. I'm going to be taking 2 shots to the people who donated last time, because I really fucking I feel sorry about that. So cheers to episode 16 10 Talks.
Cheers.
Oh my God.
I spilled it all over my pants.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, it's not that bad. All right, cheers.
This is how we start.
Oh, geez, it is.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna grab.
That gets warm quick. Oh my God! You need to stop using that water bottle. I mean, that water container. Rylee keeps using this fucking water container that's supposed to stay closed, but it never stays closed, and it's also very top heavy, where you can tip it over very easily. And this is probably about the maybe 10th time we've spilt this thing. Full, and she literally filled it up before the stream, so it was kind of full. Okay. You don't have to clean. We can clean the water off the floor later. Just get your pants stain, I guess.
Okay, let me
Jesus Christ, Riley's a klutz. That's facts, Doug.
I spill coffee every single morning.
Yeah, she does. I've learned to deal with it, basically.
It's so bad. You should see me at work. I knock everything over.
My God.
There's so many times where I've knocked so much color over, foils,
and you know what?
Shampoo bottles, broken like our card holders.
I've talked to Rylee about this before, and she's just like, her answer is, "I'm a klutz. Can't do anything about it." You know what? You know what my goal is?
I'm not aware, spatially aware.
If we get to the point where we have a little bit more free time on our hands and a little bit of extra money, I want to make an obstacle course that you're going to go through like 2 times a day, and you're going to learn how to be agile after time. Maybe after a year of doing this obstacle. And you know how Papa John's had to do the racist obstacle course? Yeah. You're going to have to do the klutz obstacle course.
It's like so bad. It's always been like this. My mom always said I was a bull in a china cabinet. Because I've always knocked everything over. I have bruises all over my legs because I literally run into everything.
Yeah, I saw the bruises today. I'm like, where do these bruises come from? It feels like someone's been abusing you. Like if someone saw that, they'd be like, what has Yuriy been doing to you?
It's literally because I run into shit. And I bruise like a summer peach.
You need to look where you're going. Literally yesterday, I was rolling a joint at my computer table, and I'm like in this delicate position of rolling the joint where I have too much weed for this paper, where any extra weight, the paper's gonna bend over and all the weed's gonna fall over the floor. Yeah. And then I'm like trying to put the filter in, just trying to get that perfect tuck in. And then Rylee just comes walking by and just hits me with her fucking butt, and I just go, and all the fucking weed goes everywhere. I'm like, bruh. I'm like,
I got so mad.
Oh my God,
and
dude.
I felt so bad, but I thought it was funny at the moment.
I bet you did.
I was trying to like make you laugh.
I was so upset. Because I honestly been thinking about doing this. Is I want to make like a tutorial video of how I roll my joints, and whenever I'm rolling in a quick, like in a position where there's people around that everyone wants to smoke quickly, I don't do this. But when I'm rolling at home, I've been doing this thing where I break up my weed in a grinder, I put it on my rolling tray, and I spread it out hella thin, and I literally take like I'm not even joking, like 10, 15 minutes to take out every little stem I see. And then like you'd be surprised to see how many stems you'd smoke. So like I really go out of my way, take every stem I see out, put it to the side, and then I put all the weed in the paper, and then Rylee goes, pff, and then everything fucking goes everywhere. I'm like, bruh, I just spent 15 minutes filtering this shit. And then everything's mixed again.
Sorry.
Whatever, it's fine. We still smoked regardless.
And it was perfect.
And it was perfect. Well, apparently people I work with don't enjoy my joints, but
why? You taught me how to roll a joint. I think you're the best joint roller.
I taught so many people how to roll joints. Oh my God. You know what's funny?
You know what my sister had? She had the joint
roller. The machine. Yeah, my sisters used to use that thing too.
I was like, this shit is fire, but I could never figure out how to
me
work
neither.
it. I was like, how do you do this?
That's the issue with me. Is like I've seen those things, and I remember when my sisters first showed that to me when I was a kid. I was like, oh, this is so cool,
thing.
But I can never get it to work.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck it works.
Me
like,
either.
do you rotate it?
You still can't do it?
No,
me either.
Every time I see, there's one on the table in the other room. I tried to use. I'm like, how the fuck?
I know it's so difficult, and she does it so easy. I can never figure it out. That's why I always used to use cones. But then I met Yuriy, and he was like, know what? I'm going to teach you how to roll.
No, you were not using cones. You were buying pre-rolls for
and I was using cones,
an extraordinary amount of prep.
Before, like when I was living at home and I could get like weed for cheap, like $25 eighths and stuff, because there was no weed shops by me. Like you just had to know somebody.
And you just stuff cones?
That's what I would do. I would stuff cones. But then when I moved to San Diego, I didn't know anybody out there, so I had to go to the dispensaries.
You never smoked Swishers?
Sorry.
Yeah,
like with my friends in high school, if we ever had weed, like
you would not roll it.
I didn't smoke that much in high school, so if we ever like smoked a blunt, like it would probably be a Swisher, I think, or a Dutch.
I remember one time, I think I've told you this before, but I remember one time I was in history class, and I was known as the stoner dude in high school. I remember one time in history class, just fucking actually trying to pay attention, like writing down notes and shit, blah blah, just doing my shit.
Like that day, you're like, I'm gonna actually be a good
exactly.
student. Like,
it was literally that day. I was
like,
I need to take my shit seriously. And then all of a sudden, I get a tap on the shoulder. Someone's like, yo, Yuriy, I had 3 people try to roll this already. No one can roll it. He hands me a backpack with a binder in the backpack, and the backpack's slightly open. And then on the binder is like weed and a swisher that's already licked up like crazy. Like 3 people had already licked it. They couldn't fucking get it to work. I'm like, what? And he's like, can you please roll this blunt for us? You can smoke with us, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And then in the middle of history class, I'm like, have a backpack on my table, and I'm just like,
oh my God.
Fucking rolling a blunt. I'm just like, ugh, like licking it, sealing it.
Exactly. The shit you got away with in high school is so different. Nobody would be able to do that in high school, ever. That's crazy.
That's how you know our weed was terrible. It didn't even fucking smell. The teacher didn't even fucking notice it. But I was gonna say something literally a second ago. I thought it was really funny and important, but I completely forgot what it was. So probably not that funny and important. Anyways, you have more topics than I do this week.
Well,
what are your topics? This is a surprise. Usually I come with a whole bunch of shit that I want to talk about.
You said you had some things.
I have a couple things, but let's get into that a little bit later. I want to hear what you want to talk about.
Okay, I did put down that this past week, I felt like I was starting to become a psychic. And like experiencing weird things.
Oh my God. Can I also say that
and,
Rylee...
Like, I'm getting nervous talking about this right now.
Can I also say that Rylee watches a lot of tarot and fucking, what are they called? Astrology, Zodiac sign videos. Like, that's all she watches on YouTube.
I think I'm just freaking myself out, but
What'd
I
you
swear
predict?
to God, I wrote this down because the other day at work, I was in the break room at lunch. Mm-hmm. And it was just me and this other girl in the room. Okay. And I swear to God, I heard in her voice, I'm scared. Like, she was looking at her schedule, and I thought she was, like, saying, like, I'm scared for the day. Like, I'm scared of my schedule because it was busy. And I was like, did you say... I was like, you're scared? Like, why are you scared? And she's like, what? She was like, what? I was like, didn't you just say, like, I'm so scared right now? And she's like, Rylee, no.
What
and
the
I was
hell?
Like, dude, I swear to God, I heard you.
But does she actually feel scared?
No.
That makes you crazy, not psychic.
I know. And then I was like, okay, this means I'm like either becoming schizophrenic or psychic.
Gee, babe, is there schizophrenia in your family's history?
No.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe I was just like, I don't know. Maybe I felt the vibe that she was scared, and that's why I thought she said that.
Maybe you were scared.
Maybe I was scared.
Hold on, wait, you
I felt like
you heard something?
Yes, I thought I heard her say I'm scared, but maybe like I just heard somebody in like the other room saying something.
Maybe. Honestly, sometimes that happens to me too.
And
where
then not only that.
Okay.
But I was hanging out with my friend Olivia and Sheena, and Olivia said that she went to McDonald's, coming up on her way to or coming down on her way to Los Angeles. And I was like, what'd you get, a McChicken? And she's like, bitch, I did.
Really?
And I was like, girl, I swear to God, I'm becoming a psychic.
Oh my God. These are two coincidences.
Because they say that if you're starting to hear things, like, that might be somebody, like, trying to, like, tell you a message.
Can I also say that sometimes, this happens to me, like, sometimes at work and sometimes at home, but sometimes especially when we're laying in bed, like, I'll hear a sound, and this happened between you and I before, where I'll hear a sound, or I'll hear something, and I'll be like, hey babe, I think someone's in the living room, or I'll be like, hey, I think I hear a sound coming from this specific location, because that's what it sounds like to me, and then I'll get up, and I'll hear that sound again from a different place in the room, and then I'm like, oh no, that came from outside in the street. So maybe someone did say,
just lit all the time.
Someone, yeah, maybe that, but someone did, maybe someone said I'm scared in the other room, or from another area, or like,
dude, I swear
something
it was her
like
voice,
that.
Though.
Oh
and
my.
I was like,
so those.
I'm like, B, are you really scared
of
something?
Is it just those two, or do you have anything else?
But I'm okay. Connecting it back to why I think I'm a psychic is because I do watch all these tarot videos, and a lot of them say that I am a very intuitive person and I might have psychic abilities.
How much money have you spent on YouTube tarot videos?
None. I just watch random.
And they talk to you?
Well, it's called pick a card readings. And, like, you just, like, pick a card or pick a deck. Like, you intuitively pick a deck.
And she does all the decks.
So it's like you choose one. And then you do there's, like, timestamps for each deck, and then she'll go through the reading for you. And I swear to God,
and you jump forward to the deck you chose?
Yeah, and a lot of them, like, they, like, really perfectly match up with my life.
You know what the thing is with a lot of those is, like, they're really good at phrasing things in a way where it's like it's almost like this is extreme exaggeration, but it's almost like me saying like, hey, Rylee, tomorrow or later this week, something good and something bad's gonna happen to you, and you're like, oh, something good and something bad's gonna happen to me. Like that's, you know, they're basically wording it in a way where it's very believable, where you're like,
I know how
everyone has love lives, everyone has family troubles, everyone has money issues, you know what I mean? Like,
I know that it like can, I know that it can go for anybody's life at the moment, like anything they're saying at, like, you know, like any message they're saying is very broad in general, but I feel like it's nice to hear the message sometimes, like even like
just don't take it too like
going
literally
through something and they're like saying like what you're going through, and like they tell you like a good, like something good and positive, or
how
like,
to get past it, or
exactly.
think past
and so
it.
like that's why I actually enjoy listening to it, and that's why I think the spiritual stuff is cool. Because like it's very general, but generally a lot of people are going through crazy shit.
Exactly.
So it is nice to hear those messages.
But you're putting it in a good way.
But like, I'm saying that a lot of them do
about being psychic.
a lot of them do say that I am a very intuitive person and I can connect with with the past life.
Really?
Yes. So I'm like, maybe hearing that, like, I'm scared is my psychic abilities.
You know what our first IRL stream should be? Is us going to a haunted location and you trying to talk to the ghosts.
I do have crazy like Ouija board experience.
Let's see if you can solve a crime. What if we...
That'd be crazy.
Who has gone missing recently? Oh, wait, that Texas girl we watched about. Remember?
The one that they can't solve, or who...
Her boyfriend, they think her boyfriend did it or whatever.
They don't know who the murderer is.
All right, we need to take Rylee on some sort of a murder finding expedition to see if her abilities are real or not. But you know what I was going to say is you're approaching it, I feel like, in a good way, because I feel like the danger with things like that, where like the psychic reading and like all that stuff, is like people will take it so literally,
and
you know,
like they become
and some people might even be in like a loving long-term relationship, and then their psychic will tell them like, oh, I don't know about this guy, and then they're gonna be like, that's it, dude, my psychic told me my girlfriend's no good, you know what I mean, my girlfriend of 3 years is no good, I'm leaving her, you know what I mean? Like, you know, some people I think will take it too literally, but if you look for it just for like, you know, like some subtle guiding on like how you should feel towards the moment, or like, you know, how you could approach things. I feel like that's a good way, but just don't take it too literally, you know?
Oh, I never do.
That's the issue.
I never do, because nobody knows what the spiritual, like, I guess, experience is for real. Like, nobody knows if there is a God or if there is, I don't know. Exactly. You know, there's so many fucking different religions, so...
Exactly. But
nobody really knows at the end of the day.
There's tons of religions.
So I feel like whatever you believe, you should fucking believe, and that's how you'll live your most best life.
There's a couple people who have like studied all the different religions and like the stories that they tell and shit. I think Graham Hancock has been one of those dudes, and he actually talked about how... You know how in the Bible they talk about Noah's Ark and the dude and there was a giant flood and all this shit, and in the couple videos I've seen, like they talk about how in the time period that the Bible says that the flood happened and all these other things happen in the Bible, it kind of falls into place like time wise with other religions saying that shit happened in their, you know, like something like a catastrophe or whatever happened in their lifetime, but it would fall in the same like line of human history as like other religions or whatever. And apparently, I think Graham Hancock said he like looked into over 200 different religions all over the world, and they're basically all based off the sun. Like basically, like the sun brings light. When the sun goes away, it's fucking scary, and then when the sun comes, it. And then also, like, you know how they say Jesus is in the bread and Jesus is in the wine, like
the body and blood of Christ.
Exactly. Apparently that can also go back to make bread, you have to grow wheat, right? To grow wheat, you need sun. So the sun transfers its energy through the plant to grow, you know, to be able to make the bread or whatever. And same thing with the wine. Wine is made out of grapes, and you can't grow grapes without sunlight. So it's just like they talk about how sunlight is the life giver for this food that we eat. And then like by eating that food, you're ingesting the power of, or like the energy given from the sun. You know what I mean? Like it's that type of shit. And if you look into it, it kind of like
all energy.
Vaguely, yeah, it's like,
and that's why I'm on that energy spiritual shit, because at the end of the day, I feel like that is the most realistic thing.
Energies.
Energies. It's
Yeah.
so true.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's the most
I
realistic
feel
thing,
like-
but I feel like
okay.
there is something to it.
No, look at this. Walk in a room, everybody has like a shitty ass attitude. How are you gonna feel?
Body language.
Awkward and uncomfortable.
But that's
right?
also like reading body language. There's
That's
so
a
many
certain
other
energy.
variables. Yeah.
And then there's other different energies, like the source
Exactly.
of light, and like it's so true.
You can go really.
It affects you.
You know what I'm kind of interested in is like I would like to know the history of reading cards and zodiac signs. Like I want to see like how people approach this like spirituality like 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago when 400 years ago when the country was basically just started. Like how are people doing the tarot readings and stuff? Like I wonder like was it different or the same as now and shit? Like I wonder how long. Do you know how far back it goes?
I'm assuming a long time.
It seems like it because the tarot seem all fucking like mystical, but the cards you can buy from 99 cents and shit. So it's just
true.
like
no, it's kind of hard to find them. I feel like
really.
I got mine at Barnes and Noble. I think.
We should do some like little bit of insight into this tarot thing because I am interested into the history of it.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Because there's like whatever attracts like thousands of people to it, it does that for a reason. So it's like you can ignore it as much as you want, but it's interesting to look into it to see like why people like it. Like Scientology, like to the normal person, Scientology seems crazy, but then once you're in it, you're like people are so about it. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking their life.
And a lot of people think this tarot shit is obviously stupid and crazy too.
A lot of I noticed that girls seem to like align with the zodiac thing more than guys do. You know what I mean? Like it's like more. I feel like it's more of a female audience thing. You don't think so?
I think so.
Right? Yeah. And like I wonder why that is. But and there are like physical differences between like guys and girls where like there's scientific studies done where a guy, for example, if you show him the color blue, like 9 times out of 10 the guy's gonna be like, that's blue. And then if you show some sort of blue color to a girl, they're more likely to be like, that's light blue, or that's aquamarine. Like girls like are able to tell colors apart better than guys, and like there's like all these differences between guys and girls where that might be one of them as well, where like girls might be able to sense energies a little bit better than a guy can. You know what I mean? Like a girl can be like, hey, don't trust that dude, he's sneaky. You know what I mean? And actually
that's what they say, women are more intuitive than men.
Mm-hmm. Wait, really? Who says that?
Yes, everybody. That's like
Everybody.
A known fact.
Who says that? Let me see him. No, I'm kidding.
It's a known fact. Women are more people with more feminine energy
are more intuitive
yes.
towards just like
everything
vibrations.
Women are more emotional.
Is that
that kind of sensitive?
That kind of does fall in line with being like able
sensitive.
to sense
You're
energies.
Sensitive to energy.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe sometimes overly sensitive.
From this topic.
You want to move on?
I feel like the Harmonious gang isn't very into this
really.
Tarot
all right,
shit.
This is something that Rylee and I were like talking in the kitchen the other day, and this is something that popped into my mind that I haven't talked about on stream, and I feel like it's such. I feel like I can honestly, if I wanted to, I can make a whole YouTube. I feel like I should, to be honest. I want to see what the people think in the comments after we let this video go live, live or whatever. But this video is live. But I want to see the comments on the video afterwards about this, if I should make a YouTube video. But when I worked for Starline as a salesman or whatever, like I would sell tours on Hollywood Boulevard. And for anyone that doesn't know Starline, I lived in Hollywood my whole life, and I never was like too familiar with Starline and how big they actually were. But Starline is a huge company. Like every popular tourist location in the world, basically, like for example, like Hollywood. As soon as you come to Hollywood Boulevard, there's Starline tours, there's Madame Tussauds, and Madame Tussauds and Starline tours work together like in every fucking country. So you go to New York, there's a Starline tours, there's a Madame Tussauds. You go to like Dubai, there's a fucking Madame Tussauds and a Starline. They're like.
Is it in San Francisco too?
It might be in. It's literally everywhere. It's like it's such a huge company. It's like literally ridiculous. And basically, when I worked for Starline, you would go to the street, you would fucking sell shit, and then you would get like some people would pay cash, so you would keep this envelope of cash. At the end of the day, you would have to walk up these stairs, go to the accountant, and there would be one accountant for the whole Hollywood district, which is like hundreds of employees and like tens of thousands of dollars in sales. Like there's one accountant or whatever, and then we're all supposed to bring our cash to this dude. We give him the cash. He counts the cash. He's like, okay, the cash seems right. And then he gives us like some receipt. And then we go back over, and then we use that receipt to count our commission and shit like that. And then I remember maybe 2-3 months into working for Starline, all of a sudden, one of my bosses, I think his name is Muhammad. Muhammad comes up to me. He's like, Yuri. He's like, I forgot the fucking accountant's name, but he gives me this fucking piece of paper with the accountant's picture on it, and it says like, if you see this guy, do not let on Hollywood Plaza property, like call the cops immediately with the accountant's picture on it. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is this about? And I started asking around like to all my Starline employees, like coworkers. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why is everyone looking for the accountant? Like, why is like the police looking for him? And apparently, this dude was working. Starline, by the way, I'm not sure if the whole like organization is operated this way, but the Hollywood organization is very family oriented, where you notice that everyone who has a higher position in the Hollywood place, they're all like cousins, they're all brothers or sisters, they're all married. You know, it's all nepotism. It's all like they're only giving the best positions to people in their family type shit. Like me as a random person, I'd have to work there for 30 years probably before I get any type of higher level. So it's very crazy. You can make a whole video about that as well, but either way. So I'm like, what the fuck? What happened with this shit? I start asking around. Apparently, this accountant has been working with that Starline company for like 20 plus years. He's been their trusted accountant for all these years. They've gone to Christmas parties. They know each other's families and shit, right?
They're hella close.
They're hella close. This dude apparently one day just like took all the cash that was made that day and like probably a couple other days, like just took hella money, and just fucking disappeared. And then like they found out immediately the next day he didn't show up to work. He's not picking up his phone. They like start getting worried. They send the cops to his apartment because they know where he lives and shit. And then his apartment's empty. He already cleared out his apartment. And then like that's when they put up the fucking sign saying don't let this guy back or whatever. And then I remember like a couple months later, I hear that this guy did not just like steal like a random like $100,000 and just go to like whatever country he was from. He like over that 20 years was like little by little like stealing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 at a time. And I forgot what the number was, but they said that when he dipped and like went back to wherever he was from, he stole like millions of dollars. And he basically like, if I went back to my village in Russia with even $100,000 cash, I'd live the rest of my life like a fucking king. He went back to fucking his country and with like millions of dollars that he probably already has been sending and depositing, and just went back over there. Isn't that fucking insane?
Damn.
And they had to switch
this is a different story.
That's what I told you. Oh, you were thinking about the money back situation. That was with the new accountant that they replaced him with. I'll talk about that later. I feel like it's too much accountant shit. But I was like, that's holy crazy. Crap.
That's like straight up like, and they can make a documentary on
you would expect to hear that in the news, right? You would expect to hear like, you would expect to see like $1 million company, Starline accountant steals millions of like fraudulent, blah, blah, like.
Moves
dude, exactly.
Runs
like
away.
Nothing. There was no media about it. There was literally zero fucking media about it. And he fucking dips.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
And you were hired around that time?
I literally saw him disappear, and then I continued working there after he disappeared. I came there like at the perfect time to see that. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Wow, babe.
And he was older too. He was like,
a crazy story.
He was in his like 50s, 60s. So he was probably like, dude, I don't want to live here no more. He's like, I'm going to go back to fucking Russia or wherever the hell I'm from, or, you know, like, and just fucking chill like with my family and shit. Dude.
I'm telling you, you need to write a book or something because you have crazy ass stories.
I would like to like get some deeper insight. Like I'd like to fucking, you know, talk to like one of my old managers or like just like talk to some more people to see what the hell was going on. But bro, working at Starline, I worked there for 1.5 years. I've never seen more shady shit happen in a fucking company. So much shit. I told you, I can go on for like literally hours right now, but basically you work there as a salesman, you can make commission. When I started working there, I met this guy called I forgot his name. It was not Bajorn. I thought it was Bajorn, but it was like some other dude. I met this guy who's been working there for 5 years, and I was like talking to him about my commission and how I'm trying to figure it out. And he told me that he was working there for 5 years. No one ever told him about commission. He wasn't getting paid commission. He brought it up to the managers. Managers realized they weren't paying him commission, and they told him that they owe him like, you know, tens of thousands of dollars basically, and they couldn't pay him out. And then he was just like, okay, whatever, fuck. And he was just so cool with it. And yeah, exactly. They were just like fucking this guy over. Dude, there's so much shit that Starline has done I could talk about. There's this, I want to talk about this in some other future 10 Talks, is there's a thing called Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Have I told you about that?
In Disneyland? What?
Oh, no.
What is this? Is this like a code?
No.
What?
So, I forgot, if I had their names, this would make for such a better story. But basically, in Starline, the Hollywood section on Hollywood Boulevard, there's this like one main owner, dude. When I was there, he was like 80 years old, very short and like kind of very old looking, but he would still come to work every day, bossing people around. And he had two sons. One son was running everything. He was in charge of everything. He was a very productive and like just like he was like a hardworking son. The other dude was like a drug addict, junkie, alcoholic guy that liked to party, and he would also work for Starline because his dad, basically owned it or whatever. And basically, if you if you search up Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, it's going to take you to a TMZ article about how this guy, the son of the owner of Hollywood Starline, he proposed to his dad. He's like, hey dad, he's like, I have an idea for a new Starline attraction. He's like, I'm gonna get this old Cadillac and drive people to the old haunted houses of Hollywood or whatever, right? So he started this. It's like it was his idea, was like pretty successful for a while, and he was the driver. He was the dude telling the people like, this is the house in this haunted movie, or 3 people died in this house type shit. And he was doing that for a while, and then one day he picks up a car full of girls. It was like 5 or 6 girls. And then if you read the article, they talk about how when he picked them up, he already seemed intoxicated. And then they said how he like pulled up to some house, and then he was talking about how the guy who lives in that house, he hates him. And he got out and started pissing on his lawn, and then got back into the car, kept driving, and then tried to like, and then tried to like touch the girls' like breasts or something. Like he tried to like touch the girls inappropriately. The girls were like fighting him off or something like that. And they basically, if you read the story, it's this whole thing about how he was driving drunk, inappropriately touched these girls, pissed in front of them on some dude's lawn, did all this shit, right? And then what's crazy is if you go to the article, there's all these photos attached to it.
Did he go to jail?
No, he went to jail for like a week or two, got out, didn't work for Starline for a year or two, and then when I worked for Starline, he was my manager.
Oh my fucking
That's
God.
what I'm saying. Starline is fucking insane, dude.
That
like,
is ridiculous and disgusting.
If you want to...
That's some David Dobrik shit. Straight up. Okay.
Baby,
is that rude?
If you wanna have a laugh, go on Yelp and type in Starline Hollywood and read the fucking reviews. It's fucking ridiculous. You're gonna see the funniest shit. You're gonna hear bus driver threaten me, bus driver flick. You're gonna see so much funny shit, dude. It's crazy. But there's such a big company that like it's like
it doesn't matter. You
really have no other option. Your option is either like choose some shady company, that they might not be telling you truthful facts, or choose Starline, the biggest company in the world. You're more likely gonna choose Starline. Yeah, it's insane.
That's crazy.
I'm glad I don't work for them anymore, dude.
Oh God.
Dude. Oh my God.
I could not. I feel like I could not even see you working there. I could see you working there. Like, I feel like that could have been a TV show. For real, though. But then again, I can't see you like fully working there for a long time.
Dude,
I feel like you would fucking hate it.
You know how you were, Riley's been dealing with this thing recently where her work schedule will say like, till this 4 p.m. or some shit like that. And then randomly they'll be like, oh, we want you to stay this extra hour or extra. And it's very consistent where they ask you to stay overtime. Dude, at Starline, you know how I told you we would have to take this whole kiosk to the middle of the Hollywood Boulevard and stand there at the kiosk? And then if we were scheduled till like 4, for example, and then I was just like, hey, I'm supposed to get off, they're going to be like, oh, dude, sorry, this guy didn't come in, and you're the only one who can manage that position. We can't have that kiosk come in early, so you have to stay there till 6. So it's kind of like very consistently you were, like, obviously I would not complain because it was overtime, but it's like you're very consistently put in these positions where they're like, you can't leave. Like, you have to stay. And you're just like, bruh. Every time. It was like shit like that, dude.
So you would just mentally prepare yourself for that?
Dude.
Oh, at the other salon I used to work out, sometimes I was there till like 11:30 at night.
What time would you start?
11 a.m.
Jesus.
Yeah. And it was like nonstop shit.
And
that was like good times though, I guess. Now compared to like what I'm doing.
It's less stress, you think?
No, it was stressful, but now that I'm thinking about it, it was good times because...
Your friends were there?
Like it was just like... It was like you were working all day, but you were chilling with your friends and
exactly.
having fun. The girl I worked for was just the best. So
I feel like that's when I was just getting into like because I've had like over 7 different jobs and shit, and when I was getting into first applying into jobs, I kind of had this mentality where every time I joined a job, it was like I want to kind of try to stay here and work harder and stuff like that. And I was always kind of
Like grow with
scared.
the company?
Yeah, scared of losing that job. But you kind of have to realize that when you're searching for a job, you also have to like realize that you need to be able to work with your coworkers. If your coworkers are fucking assholes, it's going to suck to work there. You're not going to want to come every day. It's going to be really cool to come into a place where your coworkers are chill. You're like, all right, that's already fine. Your manager's not that bad. You know, it's like you got to find a place that you like to work at. Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't be scared to be like, hey, sorry, but like this place is not what I expected it to be, you know, and shit like that.
Nope, it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been like that. If I did not like my job at the time, if I was not feeling it, I would straight up just literally look for another job, get the other job, and quit my job.
Really?
My current job.
You know what's funny? You know how
That's what I would do.
They say that the most productive or the best thing to do is like when you have a job that's consistent and you're like, you know, you're doing good at it, but then you see that there might not be room to grow, is like while you have that job, you have to like look for a different one. And I've never done that.
Really?
I've always been in the position where like
nope, I have to have something.
I'll stick with a job, and then something will happen. I'll be like, oh my god, I need another job. And then like I'm never the dude to plan ahead with the job thing. Kind of bad.
My dad always taught me.
Plan to start looking for better paying ones.
Exactly, just because you want to have something. If, like, it's better to have a plan. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Sorry, I'm a little late right now.
Speaking of lit, we have to take one more shot.
I know.
But you know, I was gonna say, I like talking about this job thing because it's really interesting. But I remember when I was looking for jobs when I was like 18, 19, 20 years old, all my friends were around the same age. We're all looking for jobs and shit, trying to make money somehow. And I remember one of my friends, like in my head, I always think of Craigslist as like some shady, weird place that you can't really rely on for something consistent like a job. And I remember one of my friends, like he would explain to me how he would find all these like actually good office jobs just like right off Craigslist. And then he ended up finding this one job where I don't want to go exactly into detail what he did, but dude, it was a very chill job, something you would expect to never ever do in your life, obviously, but it's not something high stress. And he was getting paid a really good amount of money. And I was just like, he just found this job off Craigslist just because he was searching, was like, what the hell is this? Let me call in. And they took a job interview, and that's it. They liked him, and then boom, he like worked there, liked the job, and he was like telling me how much money he was getting paid and shit. I'm like, bro, it's random, like the places you could find jobs. You know what I mean? Like just
you can find. I am the Craigslist
you
finder. My dad has taught me how to search for like cars and fucking
cars.
Yeah, like I know.
Have you bought a car from Craigslist?
I bought
really?
cars from Craigslist. Yes.
What car did you buy from Craigslist?
My first car.
Which was the box one?
No,
the Scion?
The blue one.
Oh.
Little blue Hyundai.
Hyundai.
No, Tiburon. It was a Tiburon.
What's that?
It's not. It doesn't. They don't make it anymore.
A Tiburon?
Yeah, it's discontinued. It was like a tiny little blue car.
I've never even heard of that.
Oh, do we have the laptop?
A Tiburon?
Yeah.
Does anyone in the chat know what the fuck a Tiburon is? You drove a Tiburon?
Yes, it was a tiny little two-door car. It was super cute, but it was super tiny.
Dude, you know, I remember when I got my Volkswagen Jetta, I was so hyped on it. And I remember I pulled up to my homies one day and I was like telling my homies, I'm like, yeah, I'm just got this car off the lot. I'm super hyped, like spent all this money. I'm going to be spending all this money a month on it. And they're just like, dude, that's a girl's car. Like Jetta's a girl's cars. And I'm like,
I used to want a Jetta.
Really?
Yeah.
And then I remember I'd be fighting and I'd be like, no, Jetta's not a girl's car. And then I remember one time I was literally with the homie that was like talking shit, telling me it was a girl's car. We're driving around. I pull up to a gas station to get some gas, pull out, like start putting in gas. Two gay dudes pull up in a Jeep, right? And then they're like, hey, nice car. And then I'm just like, thanks, guys.
Like,
and then my homie just fucking starts bursting into laughter. He's like, told you. He's like, the only people who are going to give you compliments on that car are gay dudes or girls. I'm like,
it's cute.
Whatever, it's gone.
It's a
R.I.P.
cute car.
It got destroyed.
That sucks.
I know. Bro, that was an interesting tale.
My Nissan Cube, the transmission went out.
That's the scariest thing. Transmission on
I
automatic.
remember I was giving my brother a ride to work. And
oh wait, let's pour up these shots.
I like turned the fucking car on.
Who, Roman?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I'm trying to like fucking drive and I'm like pushing on the gas.
No.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? I pulled over to the side, kept like trying to turn it on and drive, turn it on, drive, and nothing was working. And it cost like, it was going to cost $4,000 pretty much to fix it.
It's basically totaled.
What? Yes,
Yeah.
it was worth, or it was gonna cost more to fix it than the car was worth. And
Dude.
I was like, this is fucking stupid.
You know what song Rylee really fucking connects with? Is that DDG song, Calabasas, where he's like,
Yes.
car broke, can't even fix it, I cried about it. I was like, I've seen Rylee.
Cried at night, I admit that
Yeah,
shit.
I cried and I admit that shit. I've seen Rylee cry over her car because of
Ew.
shit that
I
happened.
feel that in my soul whenever he says that. I can't wait for the second half to happen to me.
The
When
second
he's rich.
fuck
When
that
he
car.
becomes rich and then
Oh
he has
my
no
God.
worries. But yeah, I've definitely been through my car issues.
Not that long
I've
ago.
had so many flat tires.
Oh my god.
Car broke down.
I've never had that many, like knock on wood, but I've never really
Terrible.
had that many car issues because I tried to be careful with my car, except that one time we were driving through the hills and I ran over that fucking rock. Thank God I didn't puncture our oil tank or else we would have been stuck literally at the highest point in LA with no service with a broken car. It would have been terrible. During COVID.
I know.
Jesus. That would have been fucking bad.
I've definitely ran over a lot of nails on the floor. That's not my fault. That's just badass luck.
Jesus
I
Christ.
know. It
Fuck
sucks.
cars, dude. I fucking
How many
hate them.
tires I bought.
I was like, you know what's funny?
Not me.
I was literally thinking
My
about
uncle.
this the
Shout
other
out to my Uncle John. The
Yeah,
best
shout out to
uncle
Uncle
ever.
John. I was thinking about this the other day when I was driving home from work. I was like driving on the road and I was just like thinking about how like back in the day I would have had to skate this distance and how tired I would have been like after work to skate this. And I was like thinking like good thing I could drive this car. And then in my head I was thinking like gotta pay for insurance, gotta pay for gas. In reality, you're paying taxes to pay for these roads on, these roads that you drive on. And I'm like thinking like, damn, it's kind of expensive just to fucking drive
I
around,
know.
dude.
It's
Like
ridiculous.
just to be able to drive, it's like a whole thing. But it's literally way cheaper it is in America compared to other countries. Like
Yeah.
I heard that places, I'm not sure if this is true, but this is just something I think I heard, but like in places like China where the pollution's so bad where literally you have to like pay these crazy amount of money just to like be able to own a car, where like literally it's like super hard to own a car in like other countries. It's like kind of ridiculous.
I know. I was kind of like wondering that when we like watched those videos of Harold and stuff.
About the car people,
Yeah, I'm
right?
like-
It's so random, bruh.
How do you get to that level to be able to afford a car? Because it feels like most of the country is like
Riley and I
not
were
on that level.
Riley and I were watching Harold Balder the other day, and he was literally walking. Wait, let's take the shots real quick. All right, cheers to the chat.
The chat, everybody in the chat right now.
Cheers to everyone in the chat
It's
right now.
sporty looking. They're talking about my car. Sport coupe vibes. Yep.
The other day, Riley and I were watching this Harold Balder vlog. And Harold Balder is this YouTuber who's like a traveling YouTuber. He does traveling videos, and basically he was walking through this. I forgot what part of India, but he was walking through. He's in the
Like the slums.
in the beginning of the video, he specifically says this is a very, very poor part of India. And then in one part of the video, he's walking, and there is this man who's, you can tell that from birth, both his legs are like kind of defected in a way where he can't use them. They're like very just like they're just shrunken and like in this weird position, and he only has his two arms. And like Harold Ball is just like vlogging, walking around. Then he looks to his right, and then he sees this guy. Both his legs he can't use them, and he has a cup. He has holding a cup, like a tip cup in his mouth that has like some change and some some money sticking out of it. And he's like pushing and crawling himself across the floor and like shaking the cup with his mouth, asking for tips.
It's fucking sad.
And then he keeps walking, and then to the left, there's like hella traffic with like a Mercedes passing
And it's hella
by
dirt.
and like a Lexus passing by. And I'm like thinking like,
Dirt-ass
this
roads.
is such a huge gap in fucking
I
like
know.
lifestyle levels. There's a guy who, since childhood, can't afford good health care. Can't take care of his like condition, asking for change on the street, and then there's a person driving in a Mercedes 10 feet away. Like it's so crazy. I was like, holy shit. And then yeah, that's what I think is like, how does that person in the Mercedes feel about this who's driving there? Like I wonder what goes through their mind. You know what I mean? Like I wonder if they're like I wonder how they feel about that situation. Like it's literally insane. But we have this now, if you think about it, like there's so much news about how LA is the new point of that. Like literally go to downtown LA right now. There's tons and tons of very, very, very like people who like are just struggling mentally, financially, like all this shit. Like
I've
there's
been
like,
seeing a lot.
and then
like, I
people will be
thought it
driving
was-
by on like Mercedes Benz and like Escalade in downtown LA, filming.
Range Rover.
People will be filming music videos and vlogs right next. People. You know what's even crazier is like we watch German in Venice, and like I really like his videos. But then I just think about how many YouTubers go to these homeless people to interview them for YouTube videos that get millions of views, and they probably make, you know, 100, 200 bucks in profit. Like I wonder how many of these YouTubers are actually giving all the fucking ad revenue to the homeless person that they interviewed. You know what I mean? Like, these poor people are so like down on their luck, and then people are just coming over just to film content about their terrible lifestyles. Like,
I would hope they would have the decency to hook them up in that way.
Exactly.
If they're making that money, you know.
At least just be like, dude, like, let's stay in contact. Every end of the month, I'm gonna give you all the money that comes in from this video I filmed with you. You know,
I'm gonna give you a month's worth of groceries
or something like that, dude. It's just like
I'm gonna give you enough food, or I don't fucking know. Yeah, some sort of amount of cash. Get a hotel.
But I don't want to like talk too much shit. Like maybe they're doing it. Maybe they're doing it off screen. That's because true. At the same time, you don't want to make a video that has 1 million views if you're going like,
that's what.
Hey, I just gave Rylee on 8th Street and you know Temple $300 cash, and then fucking people are gonna come rob you for that 300 cash. So it's like, sorry to cut you off. I just want to finish that.
No, I was saying like, I would hope they would have the decency, and they probably do.
Yeah.
And they probably do hook them up in some sort of way.
You know, one of my favorite things that Harold Balder did on his travels is like he loves to help people along his way too, because he always talks about how he makes. You know what's hilarious?
Yeah, he seems like he hooks them up all the time.
I think I've told you. I remember telling someone else this before. I think it was Adam. But I think I told you this too. Where Harold Balder, when he first started his vlog channel, he was like originally kind of financing it himself, and then he realized that, you know, he was like getting all these views and shit, and then he started a Patreon, and then he started making all this money off Patreon. Where he, in one of his videos, he explained that he's like, hey guys, I'm making more than enough money off my Patreon to support myself and my travels. He's like, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give away excess money, whatever's left over after taking care of like my travels and myself. He's like, I'm gonna give all that money away to like these organizations or these people that I find along the way. And then hella people unsubscribed to his Patreon, and they said like, hey, we're giving the money for you to have, not for you to give away.
Content better.
Yeah, exactly. And then people were upset at him for trying to give the money away. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
I thought that was insane. I was like, damn, he's like literally getting shit for trying to give money away.
People are like,
but then like
so crazy when people are trying to do something good.
Bruh.
Why do people do that shit?
Oh, you know what that reminds me of?
The Kylie Jenner.
You should talk about it.
Okay, so I wrote this down in my notes because I thought it was pretty interesting. And I was like, this is ridiculous when I saw that she had posted an apology for what had happened.
Bro, the things people apologize for today.
I know.
I'm sorry for helping.
So pretty much, I guess there was this makeup artist, Makeup by Samuel, I think. I don't know the name. I want to make sure that I get the name.
You don't have to be completely right. Basically, Kylie Jenner had a...
there is this makeup artist who had gotten in an accident.
But it wasn't... You're saying...
It wasn't Kylie Jenner's makeup artist. It was her makeup artist's friend.
Oh, so she had a makeup artist, and that was his friend?
Yes.
Or something like that,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't think they have to know their specific names, but wait, do you have it written down somewhere?
It's Makeup by Samuel.
Makeup by Samuel. Wait, is that the dude who got in the crash? Oh, or
yes,
in the accident?
In the accident.
Okay.
And he does like hella girls' makeup, like Stassi Baby, Chantal Jeffries, all the girls.
But he's not actually friends with Kylie.
I think she's met him before, but like he's never done her makeup.
Okay, so they're not close by any means. No.
Her makeup artist is just friends with him too.
And they might have been in the same room that once before. That's
met each other.
That's the extent of their relationship.
Yes. And pretty much he got in an accident. There was a GoFundMe out there for $10,000 for his hospital bills. Mm-hmm. And I guess there was $5,000 raised already. And Kylie Jenner I think there was $6,000 raised, and Kylie Jenner donated $5,000 raised to make it $11,000. And she was getting shit because she's
but then she tweeted it out like, go support this, right?
Yeah,
or something
she posted on Instagram like I keep saying like sorry.
Mm-hmm. She posted on Instagram.
Posted the GoFundMe link. Go support Makeup by Samuel. Send donations.
I
whatever.
just donated $5,000. So can you guys put in anything you can if you want to?
Anything you can. Prayers, all the like sweet, nice
Exactly.
messages that.
And then just like to remind people, she's
Exactly.
not even friends with this guy. Really, she just like knows of him and was in the same room with him.
She wanted to cover the whole GoFundMe donation goal because that was the goal.
Yeah.
And she put another $1,000 on top of that, being sweet.
She could put a 4. She could have put
Yes.
4 if she really wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anything was nice. Like people don't understand. Like any donation should be
Accepted or appreciated. Yeah, exactly.
And so I guess she got a lot of shit for it because she's obviously a billionaire and she only gave $5,000. But I think she just saw the goal and just gave a little extra after the goal.
Which is like such big donation shaming. Is
I
like, dude, number
know.
one, like people have already been called out. People, celebrities have done this before where they've got donation shamed and then they will tweet like, how many of the people who are calling me out have even donated $1 towards this person?
And I bet
know?
Kylie donates to so much shit.
Exactly.
That people
As a
don't even
billionaire, you're
know.
expected to like to donate to all these charities.
And so that's what I was thinking about, like how much pressure she probably has to like give all her fucking money out all the time, you know? Which at the end of the day, I'm sure she donates to a lot of different organizations. I know she donated $1 million to Australia when they were going through all their shit. So.
And this is like literally a friend of a friend. So imagine, like I
saw the goal.
Imagine how many people
completed
Kylie Jenner has as friends, and then how many times she'll see like one of her friends, like not even a close friend, but some like person she hasn't seen in a while, like, hey, how's it going? Oh man, it kind of sucks. My brother's sick in the hospital right now, or something like that. Imagine how many times she hears that, and imagine if she covered everyone's fucking hospital bills that's even slightly in
Plus
like
her
in contact with her.
Her family she
Bruh.
takes care of.
Well, they probably can take care of themselves,
But she like does everything for everything. All her friends.
yeah.
I know.
Well, her mom and dad are probably not earning any money at
I'm
this
just
point
saying-
anymore, but
I'm just saying. I feel like she does donate a lot of money, and we just don't really know about it.
But also, you should just not be donation shaming. It's
I
like
know, that's
she's
just so
donating.
wrong.
What do you guys expect? Like, what will be the minimum amount? $1 million. But then also, a lot of the people who are like probably complaining about her donating don't even understand like finances to a degree where they even understand what's like a reasonable amount to donate at all. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even understand like what it means to be a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean you have $1 billion in cash. That probably means that the company you own, all the machines and all the employees, all the stuff that it costs to operate your company costs $1 billion. So boom, you're a billionaire. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like it's like, it doesn't mean you have $1 billion cash.
Exactly.
She probably has millions in cash, but it's like she's not actually has $1 billion in cash. She could
Yeah.
just drop on something right now.
Yeah, I just thought it was wrong for people to shame her for that because she saw the donation goal. I know that's what she thought. She saw the goal, she matched it, put another on top of it, and plus Instagrammed it so other people could donate as well. So,
Exactly.
I don't think she did anything wrong. I don't think she deserved that.
And like I forgot.
That's so dumb. I feel like anything helps for any kind of organization too.
It just like nowadays, if you're a huge celebrity, like it just comes with so much shit because every little thing you do is like under a microscope. You know what I mean? Like you can, even if you're some sort of super like poppin' Instagram girl, and then you happen to go to lunch, right? And then while you're at lunch, some guy comes up to you and he's like, Rylee, I love your content so much. Can we take a picture together? You guys take a picture together. And then you're like, all right, whatever. He leaves. And then later on Instagram, you see like Rylee takes picture with KKK member. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, what the fuck? Like this guy asked me for a picture, dude. And then people will literally just use the fact just because you're famous.
Nobody wins.
To like do that shit. You know what I mean? Just to say that, like for clout or whatever.
People just want drama, so.
People just want clout. You know what I mean? They just want
Yep.
like some sort of thing to be like, oh, dude, that's the person who called them out or something. I don't know. It's fucking insane. And honestly, I was talking about how TikTok has probably like blew this thing up out of proportion, where YouTube is one thing where people want clickbait YouTube videos. Everyone wants to be like, David Dobrik did this. Watch me talk about it. But on TikTok, it's so much, their views are so insane that if you make a little 15-second TikTok called David Dobrik is this, and then you like, you know, like make a quick 15-second video talking about some shit, you're gonna get tons of video plays of people looking to this 30-second video. And also
they keep watching videos about David Dobrik.
exactly, but also how much depth can you go into like a quick little explanation of a video, you know, like a 15-20 second video about something so serious. It's just like, but I just feel like shit like TikTok is probably blowing this thing out of proportion, where everyone wants views, everyone wants to call out the biggest guy or the biggest girl for doing something crazy. You know what I mean? That's gonna get views, obviously.
I know. Now we have to wait for the Gabby Hanna.
Oh
expose.
my god. Okay, let's talk about that really quick. Can I just say that we watched the Keemstar video a second ago where he showed this is a terribly rolled joint, where he showed some clips of some Gabby Hanna situations with David Dobrik, where he was apparently like picking on her and like talking about her appearance. And I think this is just me coming from the third person's perspective, like it was from the previous David Dobrik videos, where even now it kind of felt like everyone was in on the joke. But then if she comes out saying that like, oh, none of those skits were planned, like David Dobrik was just calling me fat out of nowhere for no reason, like that's hella fucked up, dude. Like what the fuck?
I know. He just seemed like a dick.
I kind of, you know what's funny? Remember when they first talked about how Gabby Hanna was in Vlog Squad, and I was like, what? She was? And you were telling me like, yeah, she was the
like an OG.
I don't even remember those days. Like that's how new of a David Dobrik like viewer I was. But in those clips that Keemstar showed, it seemed like everyone was in on the joke, but apparently Gabby Hanna wasn't. And they were kind of
like, yeah, they were just being fucking mean to her. She's already obviously like insecure. Like she makes videos like that, like making fun of herself and stuff.
But dude,
and like he would just be rude about it. But
I feel like
that's just how he joked, and people thought it was funny. But now people are starting to realize that it's kind of fucked up.
Do you think this is like a thing about like being a girl, or what it is? Like I don't know what it is, but have you noticed that like there's a lot of YouTubers who have like transferred from being a YouTuber to a musician, like making, you know, being a rapper or a singer. Like there's a bunch of YouTubers who have done that, and Gabby Hanna is like one of them who's trying to do that. And I don't know if you noticed, but she gets a lot of shit for her singing. Like people are always trying to clown her, or like you know you've seen those videos. Like people are always trying to roast her for being a singer, and I'm wondering like is her transfer or like transition into being a musician like more difficult because she's a girl? Like are people giving her more shit because she's a girl? Like, or is it really because she's a bad singer?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I just remember like that meme of her on her the Genius thing.
Yeah, where she was like, I forgot what she did, but it was just like a weird ass note.
Yes, but yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm not into that kind of music.
I can't be the judge because
I just don't listen to that kind of music.
I've told you this before. I'm a terrible judge of a voice. Like Rylee and I watch The Masked Singer.
She's just a bad singer. Somebody said.
Rylee and I watch The Masked Singer, and like I can't tell if a person is a good singer or not. I can never like. Sometimes we'll be watching it, and in my head I'll be thinking like, this shit is so trash, and then you'll be like, babe, this sounds so good, and I'll be like, oh yeah, it does sound good. I can't tell if a person is a good singer or not. Like I'm a bad judge of like voice, you know what I mean? Like I can't tell if like, oh, like sounds good. Like I remember back in the day watching shit with my sisters, and you know how some singers at the end of a song they go yay yay yay, and they'll like continue like one note super long. Whenever I hear that, it makes me like cringe so hard. I just feel like slapping my forehead and going like, oh my god. But like I'll see people next to me going like like it's so like beautiful, like they're holding that note for so long. Like it's just so.
You don't like a belt. You don't like a Ariana Grande.
I don't even listen to Ariana.
You don't like a Mariah Carey.
I love Mariah Carey.
Okay, she does that shit.
I'm kidding. I don't know any songs, but well, if I heard a Mariah Carey song, I'd be like, okay, that's Mariah Carey. But she does the deep voice thing, right? Like
Christina Aguilera.
I don't know. That's Christina Aguilera. Jesus Christ, I don't know my singers. Recently, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. She goes, I love you. Like I don't know. I don't know how she does it, but she does that like grunge belty voice thing.
That is funny.
You said you had 5 topics. Let's go. Let's see the rest of your. I just want you to read them out loud at least. I want to see what they are, because you haven't even told me the rest of them. Yeah, that's like Mario Judah. What if Mario Judah did a song?
I want you.
Yes.
To say what you wanted to talk about.
What?
Because you said you had stuff to talk about.
I only had one other topic listed, and it was basically like an old smoking story that's not even that in depth. Like I can't even talk about it for too long, but there's nothing really much to say. But basically, when I was younger, from 16 to 23, I was basically my parents would not let me smoke at home. I wanted to keep it away from my parents that I smoked at home, and I was just like a skater who would skate in the streets all the time. So I would always be on someone's like apartment building porch, or like on someone's stair set next to their apartment, or even on someone's like house front porch rolling up a blunt with my homies and shit. Like we've gotten kicked out of so many apartments and houses. Like our thing was always to hop into someone's backyard basically and just chill there. And I remember one time there's this area, I forgot the name of the area, but it's kind of like like a different Beverly Hills in LA, where there's Beverly Hills with all these nice houses, and then there's it's gonna come to my head eventually, but there's this other area where it's like nothing but super rich millionaire, super nice houses, right? And this is back in the day when I would like fixie, and I would like ride around bikes with my homies. And I remember one time, me and my homies are like riding around, and we're like looking for a place to smoke, and then we're riding past this area with fucking super expensive houses, and then I just see like that one of the houses has like its gate open to the side, and then me and my homies are on our bikes, so I'm like, yo guys, like let's see if we can bike in here right real quick. We just like bike into this dude's like fat ass mansion. We bike into his backyard, and then we see like a pool, like a back pool house, and then we see this table with like velvet cloth, and it was like such a nice tent area with this table. And then I'm like,
it outdid our tent,
bro. It was so nice. The table was covered in velvet.
The royal crown.
It was so nice.
Or the crown royal.
And the crown royal.
Crown.
And then I tell my homies, I'm like, that's the spot. Let's go there. And then we go to this fucking dude's backyard, and like I forgot to say, it's like 1 a.m. when we're biking around. So at like 1 a.m, we pull up to this fucking mansion's like backyard, just park all our bikes, start rolling up weed on this fucking velvet thing, and like smoke and chill for like 30-40 minutes, and then all leave. And then I was just like thinking in my head, like, bro, we really just like smoking some fucking like
somebody else's house.
Somebody else's house in the backyard. And I can only, they probably like watched the footage the next morning. Like they probably saw all the weed crumbs. Like we left so much trash too.
Wow.
Like bro,
you guys are rude.
we were assholes. But that was the last thing I had. What did you, I want to see what you have as for topics.
God, I don't really have anything else.
You said you had 5.
Well, I don't really want to share the other ones.
Really?
Yeah, they're not good enough, I feel like.
Well, that's how I felt about this story. I still shared it.
Fine, I'll tell one more story.
Do you want to hit this joint or no?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
So, I used to live in San Diego.
A San Diego story. I haven't heard any of these.
No, it's not a San Diego story.
Oh, okay.
It was me coming home to the Bay Area from San Diego one weekend.
Is this when you totaled your car?
No. Oh my God.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about
No,
that.
come on, just tell me.
Okay. So, I was flying to the Bay Area from San Diego one Saturday morning, I feel like, and my sister picked me up early in the morning. I took like one of the earlier flights. And we drove back home. We wanted to go grocery shopping, and my little sister was with us too.
And?
So Brittany goes, or my older sister goes grocery shopping across the street, and me and Michaela, my little sister, go to McDonald's to get food for all of us. And I had parked our car at the McDonald's, and Brittany just walked over to the grocery store.
I think I know this story.
So me and Michaela go into McDonald's, order all of our food. We go outside, and I'm trying to unlock my sister's car, and I'm like noticing it's not going off. And I know her like remote has issues.
Like mine?
Yes, where it's like you have to push hella hard.
And sometimes it doesn't work.
And sometimes it doesn't work. And so I'm calling her. I'm like, Britt, like, your fucking car's not working. What am I supposed to do? And she's like, you just have to push hella hard. And I'm like, damn, it's not working. It's not working. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the sunroof's open. And I'm like, Michaela, go climb and on top of the roof and go inside the car and unlock it. And so she goes inside the car, unlocks it, looks back, and notices that there's a baby's car seat in the back of the truck.
Good thing there's no baby in there.
And my sister's car does not have a baby car
yeah.
seat in it. And she's like, oh my God, Rylee, this is not our car. And I was like, oh my God, get out. The alarm's going off.
No.
People are...
Because she tried to open the door?
And it was one of the McDonald's workers. And she's coming outside to like...
Lock her car?
Lock her car. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, it looked like we were trying to like steal her car and shit. But she did nothing.
She's like, these ratchet girls are trying to rob my whip.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I got into Brittany's car so fast. Brittany's like with her car, like shaking her head at me in the distance, hella mad. I was like, oh my God, I was so fucking embarrassed.
She was mad?
She was like, with the car, like shaking her head, looking at me.
My God.
Was like, this is the fucking worst. I know she's gonna tell this story for the rest of my life.
That's so funny. Yeah. I could totally see that happening to you.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Dude, you know what I want to talk about is I kind of got reminded by this randomly because you were talking about the car situation. Is the first time I was ever arrested and put into the back of a cop car.
I didn't know you were put into the back.
I've been in the back of a cop car twice. And the first time was when I was like 11 years old.
What?
Yeah. And it was such bullshit. Like,
why?
So there's these two parks that are right next to, right down the street from my parents' house where I grew up, my parents' apartment where I grew up. There's Plummer Park and there's Poinsettia Park, right? And I remember we would go to Poinsettia Park to play basketball because they had all these basketball courts. And then my sisters were on this basketball team, and they would always go to Poinsettia Park to practice. So whenever my sisters would go to practice, I would go with my sisters to go play on the playground or just like hang out in the park and do random shit. And then one day, I was already kind of like a hoodlum where there was this guy called Coach Lou who was like kind of maintaining the whole gym area. And he would always like be like, Yuriy, why are you doing this? Yuriy, why are you doing that? Just getting mad at me for all of this stupid shit I was doing. And I was already kind of like known as like a little hoodlum in this park. Not hoodlum, but just like kid who did stupid random shit. And one day, I'm like, my sisters are fucking practicing. They're doing their own thing. And I'm just like walking around the park, doing my own thing, like fucking around. And then a cop car just fucking pulls up into the park. And then these cop cars already from the seat that they're driving in, they're like talking to each other, pointing at me. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm just like walking, like minding my own business. I'm like literally like 11 years old. Then they fucking pull up right next to me inside the park. So they already drove inside the park. They pull up next to me inside the park. Both get out. They're like, you get like, stay right there. Stay right there. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what's going on? They're like, that's him. That's the kid or whatever. They fucking put handcuffs on me. I'm like, what the fuck? They throw me in the back of a cop car. I think I'm crying at this point. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck is going on, right?
You're so little.
Yeah, I'm like a tiny little kid. And then these cop cars are like, we're calling the guy over. And then this fucking they bring this like old ass man over. Like some guy's like helping this old man over. And this old man's like, he's like, this kid stole my wheelchair. And then the old man looks inside the cop car, looks at me. He's like, that's him. He's like, he stole my wheelchair. I'm like, I didn't steal anyone's fucking wheelchair. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like scared. Like, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like waiting for my sisters to come so they can explain like what the hell happened. And then randomly these two twins, I forgot their names, but these two like twin boys who are like a couple years older than me, they walk by. And then the old man who already fucking said I did it turns around and goes, no. He goes, those are the kids who stole my, and they had the wheelchair with them.
Wow.
They were fucking around the wheelchair. And then apparently
they're like traumatized in the back.
And then apparently these two like twin boys or whatever fucking like pushed this old man out of his wheelchair, took his wheelchair and went to go play with it and like fuck around with it. And then the dude said it was me.
What dicks?
And they threw me in the back of the cop car and fucking like
those kids are dicks.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't even know who the hell those kids were, and they were pinning it all on me. And I was like,
wow.
I was like shitting bricks. I was like so terrified.
Damn.
And then luckily those kids walked by and I was fucking perfectly fine.
Wow.
But I was like, bruh, really?
That's fucked up, dude.
I always got the short end of the stick, even when I was a kid.
Wait, what was the other time you got?
Okay, so I feel like this is it's kind of a learning tale for anyone around the age of like just starting to learn how to drive. But I also have to say ahead of the time, do not smoke and drive ever. It is a terrible idea. You're gonna get in a car crash. Stop reading the chat, babe.
Sorry, people are being rude.
No, just stop reading the chat. It doesn't help to read it. Okay, here you go. Here's your shot. Just pay attention. All right.
Thank you for everybody who's being sweet.
What are we cheersing to? You choose the cheers. Oh, I know. I don't know. You choose the best ones usually.
Cheers to a great Sunday night.
I forgot it's Sunday, but cheers. You're right.
Cheers, everybody.
Stop.
What?
I'm gonna put the chat away if you keep reading it.
Yeah, put it away.
Really? Okay, here
Just
we go.
put it away.
I put the
don't
chat
wanna
away.
Look at it.
All right. So the second time I got arrested, one time
Yeah, what the fuck? I've never heard this story.
I told you before. I think you, as I'm gonna explain it, you're gonna
I'm
be
gonna
like,
be
you're
like,
gonna be like, oh, I think I heard this before. But basically,
Wait, was this in Santa Barbara?
no, no. Thank God he's not gonna arrest us out of Barbara. But anyways, one time, me and my homies, like I told you, our favorite things to do back in the day was to go to the hills and smoke, right? But we would always come out of the car to go smoke and then come back into the car. And then this one random day, one of my homies picks me up. So just me and my homie. I'm not gonna say any names. So me and my homie, we drive up to the hills. And then this one random day, he was always super strict about not smoking in his car. And then this one random day, he's like, yo, let's hotbox my car. I'm like, sweet. I brought 2 blunts with me. And we hotbox both the blunts. We like smoke and shit. We chill for a little bit, and then we start driving home. Or like he's gonna drop me off, and then he's gonna drive home. So then we're driving down Sunset Boulevard, and he has his windows open. And then I didn't know, but he had one of his taillights out. They weren't working. And then we get pulled over by a sheriff.
Oh my god.
And we literally like 10 minutes prior had just hotboxed 2 blunts with the windows closed.
This is my worst
So the
nightmare.
car stinks like fucking weed. And then the fucking sheriff like opens the comes to the window and he's like, it stinks like weed. He's like, who's smoking? And then we've already dealt with cops so many times as skateboarders, so I already know what to do. So I was like, hey, I'm like, my buddy here doesn't smoke. I'm like, I smoke. I was like, he literally just picked me up from my house and I just smoked a blunt. Like you're smelling me right now. Like he doesn't smoke weed at all. And he's just like, he's like, what? He's like, no. He's like, come on, guys. He's like, I'm cool, guys. He's like, I'm a cool cop. He's like, I'm not tripping. He's like, I'm not trying to he's like, I'm not trying to get no one in trouble here. He's like, just let me know you guys smoke, then I'll let you guys go, you know? And then we were like, no. We were like, dude, we're telling you the truth. My friend here doesn't smoke. I'm in the passenger seat. And I'm like, dude, like, I smoked the blunt. He doesn't smoke, and that's why you smell the weed. And then he's like, nah, dude. He's like, you guys are lying to me. He's like, I'm telling you guys. He's like, I just want you guys to be truthful with me, and I'll let you guys go. But why does he want us to admit that my friend smoked weed just so he can let us go? That doesn't make sense. He obviously wants us to admit it so he can fucking book my friend or whatever. So he's like,
it's that power trip.
So he's like, step out. Oh my God, I forgot to say. So there's just to give, before I continue telling the story, just to give a little backstory on what happened that night. Before me and my homie hotboxed, he didn't just pick me up from my house. Before me and my homie hotboxed 2 blunts, there's this one skate spot in the hills somewhere that we wanted to skate, and we've been there before. But these dudes came and they like cemented down these like bricks so that you can't skate it anymore. And then we realized that they did a shitty job cementing it, and all you had to do is come with sledgehammers and just fucking sledge it away, and then you can break the bricks off. So me and my homie meet up like at like midnight to go to the skate spot to fucking sledgehammer this spot so we can skate it like the next day or some shit, right? And then we put the sledgehammer and all these other construction tools that are covered in dust in his trunk, and then we fucking go hotbox these 2 blunts, and then we start driving home.
Oh my god!
And then the cop fucking pulls us over. We start telling him the story about how I am the one who smoked. My friend didn't smoke. The cop is like, I don't believe you guys. He's like, step out the car. Puts us both in handcuffs. Puts us in the back of his cop car. And then I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like talking to my homie, and I'm like telling him, I'm like, dude, like, all we have to do is like stick to our story, and he can't prove shit. Like he can't just be like, you're intoxicated. Like all you have is a broken taillight, you know? So we're sitting in the back of his cop car while he starts searching my homie's car, because he's like starts going through looking for weed. We smoked everything, and there's nothing in the car that's like there's no weed or like resin or roaches or nothing. Can't find anything like that. But he opens up the trunk, sees a sledgehammer, sees all these tools.
Like, these people are fucking murderers in here.
He sees all these tools covered in fucking dust, and he sees we're all covered in dust too. And then he's like, comes back to us. He's like, what's up with the sledgehammers? And then my homie, I didn't even think of this, but my homie quickly goes, we're construction workers. We work construction with our dads, like blah blah. He's like, we just came from our jobs earlier. And then he was going along with that story, and I was like, yes. I was like, this is fucking perfect. Like this whole fucking construction story. Oh no, he said he worked construction. Those were his tools. And then so that was going on. The cop believed that. He kept searching the car, didn't find any weed.
Damn, this is a crazy night.
The cop literally for another 30 minutes kept coming back and forth from his car to the back of the cop car, going, "Come on, guys, just make it easy. Just say you smoked the weed so I can let you guys go." And we're like, still sticking to the story that I'm the only one who smoked weed. And then guess what? After like an hour of fucking with us, he can't prove shit. So he ended up just giving my homie like a fix-it ticket for his taillight and let us go. So just like,
wait, why were you handcuffed?
Because he was searching the car. That's why. They have to do that while because we could just run away or some shit apparently. But it's like that just proves. And also, I've heard many times before from my other friends that like cops. This is so much fucking information for like criminals, but like cops, if they're investigating you, like for something serious, they're more like legally they can only hold you for 72 hours for questioning and shit for something. But like cops will like literally pick you up on a Thursday or Friday night so that they can, and the weekend apparently doesn't count. So they can hold you like Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, or even like, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They hold you for a long ass time.
For office hours.
Yeah, exactly. And then that whole time they're holding you, they're like telling you like, Rylee, like Yuriy already snitched on you. Yuriy said you did everything. Just tell us the truth. Blah blah. They'll be lying to you for like 5 days, and then basically I've been told by many friends that like all you have to do is stay strong. Be like, I'm not saying anything until I see my lawyer.
Yeah.
All you have to do is say, I'm not saying anything until I see my lawyer. No matter what they say, even if they say like, dude, Rylee.
It's like that tactic is good if the person is really accused for the crime they committed, but it could really fuck with somebody who is innocent, but is just like going crazy because they're trapped in the cell for so long. So it's like, fuck. And it's good on one end, but then it's also like dangerous on another end where it's like you're fucking with other people's lives.
On top of that, even if you are innocent, and then imagine they hold you Friday, Monday, Saturday,
exactly.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then in your head you're like, I have to go to work, I have to tell my parents what happened, I have to tell my friends what happened.
Like, I have to keep repeating the story 17
Exactly.
times.
And then by the time you get to the last day, you almost, even if you're innocent, you almost sometimes want to be like, dude, I fucking did it, just let me out. And they're like, boom, you're in jail for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. So I've been told many times that you gotta like just don't say shit. And then, dude, you know what this leads me back to is the annual. I feel like a lot of people have been keeping up with the David Dobrik situation, where Jeff, one of David Dobrik's old friends, went on H3H3. And one thing that I found so fucking funny and hypocritical was Jeff, 2 seconds or a minute into the conversation, the first thing he says is like, H3, I joined your conversation because I've been avoiding all these other interviews because they like to take whatever you say and take it out of context, and it's better to not speak on situations, especially legal situations, until it's all taken down to court. You know what I mean? Because like even if you are innocent and you say something weird, that's gonna be used against you. So in the beginning of the conversation, he's already saying like it's better not to say anything, and then he spends the next 30 minutes fucking just going back on a lot of shit that he said. Like he said that he was only there for 15 minutes. Then H3 is like, well, you're only there for 15 minutes? He's like, no, maybe I was there for 30.
I might have came back later on in the night. I mean, I live right across the street.
And then I was there for, I think 30, 45. And then he was just like fucking contradicting himself so much times.
Like, what's going on? Like, they are getting fucked with,
bro,
for real.
Even if he was, like, I'm not saying Jeff is innocent, but I'm just saying that he did a terrible
That was bad.
thing.
And then all the videos and pictures got leaked that when they
Jeff
were
was there
later
actually
that night, I'm like,
it's like,
bruh.
you can, people will say like, oh yeah, just address the situation, but it's like, if it's a real legal situation and you want to have it handled properly, the best thing to do is keep it out of public eye and talk about it only through a legal thing, because they're gonna find out the truth. You know what I mean? Like through a judge and lawyers and everything, they're gonna get down to every little thing that even people on the internet didn't see. They're gonna find everything that you fucking said. So it's like just saying anything on like in a video or whatever, it's just gonna make it worse. You know what I mean? Like people are, it's not gonna make it better. Usually it's like, it's way better just to be like, I'm gonna wait for this to go into court and then we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
So how did you feel about his apology though? David's apology. The second one, not the first one, the second one.
Every time, and this is just me watching from my very skeptical point of view, every time I see David Dobrik do anything like this where it's like a legal situation where he's like apologizing. In the beginning of the video, he's like, "Guys, it's 2 a.m. I'm by myself. I'm just filming this video randomly." Like
That was weird, right?
that's scripted. Like he said,
Exactly,
there's
like,
probably 3 people behind the camera.
manipulation.
Like yeah, exactly. There's like all these different things. Oh, let's go. So I see boys with the $2 donut stimmy hit. I just saw like so much random shit, but I think he did do a good job of like just taking responsibility for the shit he did. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, he didn't touch any girls, but he did create an environment where that shit happened, and then he did address that. He was saying, "I did that, and I'm fucking sorry, and I'm working on not doing that anymore."
Yeah.
And then
I would just, I don't know, dude.
You know what else kind of?
I wish I could see the situation at its core, but I feel for those girls being in that situation and like just being.
Did you see the Dom?
Taken advantage of.
You saw the Dom thing with the papers?
Papers.
You know, non-disclosure papers or whatever. Where
yeah.
NDAs or whatever. Dude, the shit that was like written in them is like kind of crazy. It's like, I can't even imagine giving that to a girl.
He gave them to those girls?
They had a picture of him holding him. He had like 50 of them, as if he was like, ready to give them to hella girls. Like,
ugh.
And the NDA basically says like, if you have sex with me, you can't talk about it. You can't say anything negative about me. It's just like a bunch of shit like that. And it just kind of, I can't even imagine giving that to a girl. But I don't know. I'm not.
It's like I can feel like those girls were just trying to have fun, meet some cool people, poppin' people. And they got fucking taken advantage of. After that moment, they're like, I don't want to ruin this guy's life, or I don't want to be the cause of drama and stuff. Mm-hmm. So like they've been silenced for so long, but
and I don't want to defend his
really
actions.
Fucked up.
I don't want to defend his actions, but also like think about it from the perspective of being a 19, 20-year-old guy who's super, just wants to hang out with, like I remember I was 19, 20 years old. I wanted to go to bars to like meet girls and shit like that. Imagine you had this ability to be like post on Instagram and then 30 girls hit you up immediately. Like it's like he learned his lesson. You know what I mean? Like that's a weird fucking thing to do. Do not fucking do that. And Dom took it way too fucking far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If a girl is fucking too fucking drunk, don't touch her. Bro,
that shit.
She's not there.
Honestly,
mentally, she's not there.
I think that's the craziest part about the story.
If you can tell that she's not there, dude, she's really not there. So don't take advantage of her.
I think out of everything I saw about that situation with David Dobrik, Dom, and everything,
it makes my stomach curl every time I hear the story, because
the craziest part was the fucking drunk thing where one of the other girls said that
she finished him off because she didn't want to see him fuck her like unconscious body anymore.
Yeah, he was fucking some unconscious girl so much that her friend was like, no, I'll take care of you so you can leave her alone. That seems fucking retarded.
That doesn't seem like she made that shit up. Because that's a dark shit. And
imagine wanting to admit to that.
I could just see a drunken, I don't know.
Imagine wanting to admit to that as a girl. Situation. Like you're coming under a lot of scrutiny and all that stuff. So like that most likely is.
And it's like he's so poppin', like she's probably thinking it doesn't matter what I say, he's gonna be fine in the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. And at the time, that's when they were super big. You know what I mean? Like that's when they were getting 10 million views every vlog. So it's just like anything she says is against 10 million people who love all these people.
Yeah, it's really sad.
It's gnarly. But you know what's funny? I was actually thinking about the other day is, you know how before this whole David Dobrik thing happened, we were talking about how we liked his older videos compared to his newer ones. Mm-hmm. And then in his apology, he talks about how the reason why all of his new videos are all Tesla and money giveaways is because he wanted to steer away from his old content. And that's when we started getting bored of it. And so it's just like, I feel like not only is David Dobrik and Dom guilty, I feel like every single person, including us who enjoyed his content back in the day and drop the like and drop the subscribe and drop the comment saying, good job, this is so funny. Like we're all fucking guilty of, it's like the Britney situation.
I had like a binge of David Dobrik videos.
Same here. I watched all the David Dobrik videos in like days, like 3 days, all of them.
Exactly like that Jackass rush where it's like, damn, all this shit is like so crazy and like you're hyped every minute and it's so short.
And you're adding to the money he makes, you're adding to all that stuff. The people who bought clickbait merch, like everyone enjoyed that content, and then now But it's like, has everyone been duped? Did everyone? I feel like everyone's in the same shoes that I am. Where when I first saw all those David Dobrik videos, I assumed that everyone in the room is a part of the joke. When he's making fun of Susie for being fat or being ugly, I assume that he's like, "Hey Susie, is it okay if I film this skit?" She's like, "Yeah, it's fine." But apparently, like, no, a lot of his skits were like,
at the top
they were talked about, but it's like like people didn't understand some of the jokes that were going to be made and like shit like that. I felt especially bad for Susie when I watched that shit.
Yeah, I was listening.
He made so much fun of her, dude.
I was listening to a podcast, one of my favorite podcasts I've mentioned before, called Chatty Broads, and they were talking about this David Dobrik situation, and there was one of them. She's in her 30s, so she's a little older for like the David Dobrik demographic, I would say.
Who?
Like, she's just more mature to like watch those videos.
Oh, okay.
Jess, her name's Jess.
From Chatty Broads.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so like she obviously just has a wiser view on those videos, I feel like. But her sister is really young, and
you were telling me about this.
So her sister was showing her these videos, and she was saying that she thought she was like intrigued by the videos, but underneath she's like, I kind of feel icky, like this guy's kind of being really mean.
Her younger sister was saying that?
No, Jess was
saying that.
So she was telling her little sister, like, do you see, like, she's like, okay, you're watching these videos, but do you see like where this guy is kind of wrong?
Yeah, and this is kind of weird.
Because he's kind of bullying people and being mean. And she's like, no, like I don't understand that. But like when she would ask her that question about Jake Paul videos, she's like, yeah, I get it. Like he's just
a
kind
weirdo,
of like
and
a
this
mean
for
guy.
fun.
Yeah. But for David, she didn't understand that. So that she's like, that kind of scared me for my little sister, because at the end of the day, like I had that weird feeling. And I feel like when I started watching David videos too, like I thought it was so funny, but I kind of felt like, is it funny or is he kind of being mean? Like I couldn't tell if exactly what you're saying, like if they were in on the joke
or not,
or if he was just being a dick.
Yeah, exactly. And they were just like, what? Like,
and
I'll
like,
play
they
along.
just had to take it.
Exactly, because if he's filming and he's like all excited, are you gonna be like, hey, fuck you, dude? Like, why'd you say that? You know what I mean? Like, then it gets super awkward. You know what I mean? Like, so a lot of people probably will just continue just because it's on during a vlog, but
yeah,
I don't know.
But I mean, I guess that weird feeling led to more weirdness.
I only, honestly, I never really got that. When I remember specifically watching that Dom one where he had that 5-some and shit, and then in my head, I was thinking, these are all like either porn stars or like they're involved in some sort of adult content in some sort of fashion where they're comfortable with this type of situation, and I just expected that everyone was comfortable with the situation.
I felt like I knew they were like fans.
I never had but they didn't show any alcohol on the vlog, did they? They didn't show them taking shots and shit. So like in my head, like I was like, oh, these are girls that Dom knows that are probably down with the situation. They know it's for the vlog, and I just thought everything was kind of like everyone knew what was going on. But then now you see the behind the scenes where.
And that's why
everyone's just like, what the hell's happening right now? Let's just film it regardless. Like, fuck it. That's crazy.
That's why it was like, he put that slide up where it said, after major persuasion or...
Oh, David Dobrik put it up?
After master negotiating.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He said Dom negotiate, managed to negotiate like the 5-some or 3-some or something like that. Which is like, imagine negotiating a 3-some. Like, come on, can I fuck at least 3 of you? Like, imagine saying that. Like,
that is just weird and disgusting, and I feel so terrible for those girls because that's a fucked up situation to be in. You thought you're having fun with some guys that you're just gonna have a fun night with, probably, and you got taken advantage of. That's disgusting,
dude. Like, I just feel like, I think H3's talked about this before too, where
they were just trying to meet people.
Who knows about these girl situations, but imagine one of them was new to LA and then David Dobrik hits him up like, hey, let's hang out. You're like, oh, sick, I'm gonna hang out with David Dobrik. You're not expecting him to get you fucking drunk to fuck you, like, and then like not talk about you ever again.
Not him, his weird friend.
I feel like the most incriminating thing is that little clip of David and Dom and I forgot who else was in the car in the back, but they were like, "We're going to jail tonight, boys," and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're definitely going to jail tonight." Like they were just like,
that didn't age well. That's
yeah,
that
they're fucking
shit.
joking about the fact that the shit was cringe. They even know, like,
They even knew it was wrong.
yeah, in their stomachs, they could feel that the situation was off, and they were still continuing with it.
I'm just waiting for the Gabby Hanna shit to spill.
Oh my god.
What is she gonna say?
She's gonna say that they were dickheads, because that's from the videos I saw in the Keemstar video. That's what was happening. Is like,
That's what she's gonna expose.
did you see the clip where one of the clips was like they were doing a Christmas opening, and then like David Dobrik gets Hannah a present, and she opens up the present. She's like, "Oh, what could it be?" She's all excited,
yeah.
and it's and she's like shaking it. She's like, "Oh, like what is it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's gonna help with your
pills.
yeah." He's like, "It's gonna help with your dancing," and then she's like, "What am I dancing?" And then she opens it up and it's diet pills, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hopefully you lose some weight and you'll be able to dance better." And I was like, "Oh my fucking god, I can." But David, also, can I just say that he found what's his name? Who's the older dude?
Jason.
He found Jason at a comedy club, and David Dobrik has talked about this openly, that he's a big fan of stand-up comedy. He's like a really big fan of stand-up comedy, and I feel like that's something that he even would want to pursue if that's like pops up in his future at some time. Like, you could just tell that he's in that stand-up comedy world. And then like with people, have you heard of Ari Shafir? And I showed The Amazing Racist and like shit like that, where there's like in comedy, especially before cancel culture like started, like they really like to take it very, very extreme, you know, for the joke. Like Ari Shafir, who's a huge comedian, like he can do a comedy show and the seats will be sold out and stuff. Back in the early 2000s, he did something called The Amazing Racist, where each video was like a skit about like Asian people, black people, Jewish people, like all these different like nationalities and cultures, and he would just like do a very stereotypical, like, you know, Mexican people, like he would just do a very fucked up stereotypical version of it, and it was very funny and very popular at the time. It was called Amazing Racist, and he's done other shit in recent times too. I think you've heard about it, where when Kobe Bryant died, Ari Shafir instantly went on his Instagram live and was like, "Fuck Kobe, he raped the girl back in the day," because there's like old accusation of it, and he was basically talking all this shit about Kobe and saying he deserved to die, and then he got all this shit for it, but then Ari came out going like, "Yo, guys, like," he's like, "I'm an edgy comedian." He's like, and he like linked to other videos he's done in the past where other very loved popular people die, and he just talks shit about them as soon as he dies, because that's his form of comedy, is to hit the most fucked up thing possible. You know what I mean? Like, and some comedians are like that, and I feel like David Dobrik was falling into that too, where he found the most fucked up joke you can say funny. You know what I mean? Like, and if it was giving Gabby Hanna diet pills, like that's hilarious. That was hilarious at the time.
Like that.
Exactly.
They're into dark humor or darker humor.
So I wonder if that's like just the YouTube audience, you know what I mean, not being ready for a stand-up comedian, but that definitely does not excuse getting 5 girls drunk and raping them.
Fuck no.
Exactly. That's a whole different.
No.
That's a whole different situation.
I'm glad those girls came out and felt comfortable enough
to say all that.
Who knows how many girls have been through that experience
and didn't want to say anything
and haven't said anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
imagine how many, dude. This is gonna play out probably for another year, but imagine like how this is gonna end up ending. Like, I wonder, is Dom gonna go to jail?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, that'd be fucking insane.
It's just too much for me. It's just been too much drama these past couple weeks.
Keemstar's hyped. He has fucking hella videos to post.
H3 too.
I know, right? Mm-hmm. You know what's actually something I was thinking about is you know how we were, before the David Dobrik situation hit, we were or just like happened, everyone started talking about it. We were talking about how H3 recently was going on this cancel parade where every single person he talked about, he was just like trying to like cancel them, and like he was just hating on all these YouTubers back to back to back. And then it got to David Dobrik, and then all this shit came out. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of felt like H3 was also, he can admit to this too, that he was like getting a lot of like flack on his like comments for you know, during his podcast getting into too serious topics, to like too political topics, and they told, like, his comment section has told him like, stop talking about political stuff, like you don't know what you're talking about, you're just like kind of making yourself look bad and shit. And then it kind of felt like he was doing that for a while with the YouTubers too. He switched from politics to YouTubers, and then this is that one thing that finally had something to stick, and then he continued talking about it, you know? And honestly, the one thing that bothers me, I don't think I talked about this on 10 Talks, but the one thing that bothered me about H3 talking about this whole David Dobrik situation is during this, I think when he had Seth on, he literally just talked to Seth about how traumatic and terrible what David Dobrik did was to Seth, and how Seth is trying to get over it. And he had this whole segment about talking to Seth about his traumatic situation with David Dobrik. Seth gets off the line, and then he goes, let's get into this advertisement. And then he fucking starts going like, this is the best thing ever, blah, blah, blah. And then he gets into an advertisement. And then in my head, I'm like, you can't really like say you're taking these accusations that seriously, and then like, do all this stuff and then do an advertisement in the middle of the video. You know what I mean? That seems kind of a little bit disingenuous to advertise on someone's sexual assault fucking video. That's kind of rough.
I think a lot of people can see that too, though.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. I think he gets a lot of people who criticize him too, right?
He definitely does.
Right?
He talks about it.
He talks about it openly.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I don't think anyone's like mentioned that part. I haven't really gone through his comment section to see, but it's just like, I just felt like that part was like a little bit sus, where he was talking about how serious these accusations are, how seriously he's taking them, and then immediately gets into an advertisement. And
that's the way the cookie crumbles, right?
And I was just like, a lot of YouTubers know that it's kind of like a moral thing where
keep it demonetized.
Yeah, you post videos all the time. I can literally post a video about a serious situation, unmonetize it, and then post another video the same day that's monetized, and I won't get any shit for it. You just don't monetize the video that's talking about a serious situation, you know? As we were talking about this video being monetized. But we're not the one bringing it to light and having Seth on. I'm just like, we're talking about current topics that's in the news. So
yeah, and our opinion on it.
Exactly. I feel like we did a pretty good job at covering some stuff today.
I know, and we thought we weren't going to have anything to talk about.
Do you want to take one more shot to finish it off? How are you feeling?
Because I really need to pee.
Really?
So
okay.
Let's take this last shot.
All right, I'm going to take this last shot. You can go pee, and then I really want to give a huge shout out to all our Patreons. But hold on, let's pour up this Crown Royale. Huge shout.
It's going to be hella warm. Let me get the Coke.
Oh, yeah, get the Coke. Please. Guys, right now, I want to drop a huge thank you and appreciation to all the people who joined our Patreon. Last time we talked about it, from the last 10 Talks we talked about it, we have gained 3 additional Patreons. And guys, it fucking helps tremendously, and I really appreciate you guys. And I want to, I said I was going to do this for every podcast. I want to name every single person who's joined the Patreon. Huge thank you to Tashina Tony, like always. She's been a huge she's been a huge fan for a longest time. Huge shout out to Doug, like always. He's been a fucking huge supporter and fan for the longest time. Notorial Restoration, DZ Dust, Danny, Denim, Brandon, Russell, Austin, DJazz65, and Tyler A. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm gonna be sending out. Speaking of which, we are going to edit the Patreon vlog and drop it probably tomorrow or Tuesday, because we really have to. I said no, we have to do it today. We literally have to spend the rest. Guys, we're going to be dropping content on the Patreon channel. I've been vlogging all week on my phone, all these like behind the scenes stuff and everything. And we're going to be editing it today and then dropping it on the channel. I'm going to be teaching Rylee how to edit, and we're going to be dropping it on the Patreon. And you guys will have an exclusive vlog for all the Patreons in the Patreon. Jeez, I said Patreon so many times. I poured too big of a shot right here, so you can have that one. I'm kidding. No, you can have the smaller one. All right. Wait, where's the Coca-Cola? Oh, it's right here. Oh yeah, I didn't pour you any. Dude, this was a good podcast. I feel like that was a good conversation. All right, cheers. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to wrap it up in one second. Do you want to do the after show? Sure. All right, we're going to do the after show. All right, cheers. All right, before you leave, thank you guys so much for watching.
Wait, did you pull up the patrons?
Yeah, I did. Wait, hold on. Before you leave for the bathroom, let me just do the outro before we get into the after show. All right, guys. For everyone watching, thank you guys so much for and listening as well, because we're dropping this on SoundCloud. That goes to Spotify and Apple Music. No!
How did I do that?
thank you guys so much for watching this episode of 10 Talks, episode 16. I really appreciate you guys. We're gonna kiss her on camera. We're gonna stay on stream to do an after show, but if you guys are watching this video, we're gonna leave it live after, and we're gonna cut out the whole after show. We're gonna cut it out afterwards, but if you're watching this video, please drop a like on the video. Please drop a comment, not on the chat, but in the actual video. And then also subscribe if you guys are not subscribed already.
Thank you so much for listening.
Follow It's Rylee G on Instagram. Her Instagram is in the description.
And follow at Harmonious Yuriy on Instagram. Get him to 10K. He's almost there.
Dude, huge shout out to Adam because he shouted me out, and I literally gained like 300 to 400 followers overnight. Like it was.
See how many views that video got?
Yeah, that's what I was telling Adam. I was like, I can't believe 200,000 people saw me eat 2 blunts. Like that's ridiculous. So
I get out of my lunch break and I see that video. I was gonna comment. Goes on lunch break. .. Sees this. .. That
would have been funny.
Clocks it. ..
Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna continue for the after show in a second, and peace.